Hello, Jigsaws. You've probably heard this topic before. Can we separate the art from the artist? And maybe you saw it in the title and you groaned a little. You went like, again? And I get you. This is a topic we see over and over on BookTube or any other sort of critic tube. And it mostly has to do with what we call cancel culture or consequence culture or accountability culture or whatever. And you know what, I get this. This is a very thorny topic. Can you enjoy the art by a person who is not a good person? Are you supposed to support them? Is supporting their art endorsing their bad beliefs? And I think that the case of j.k. Rowling was a great example for what happened, because she made some comments that were clearly upset a lot of her fans. So she has been cancelled and left alone to stew in her billions. Poor John. So that's a very interesting question, and you know what I was thinking about recently. And something popped in my head, an idea that maybe this is not the question we should be asking. And getting back to the j.k. Rowling situation, when things were quite hot about her and about her statements, there was a video by a YouTuber. The channel name is Council of Geeks, and she's a trans geek culture commentator. She's talking about Doctor Who and Harry Potter, and she was a huge Harry Potter fan, and she was definitely upset by what j.k. Rowling did say. I'll link the video below. I think it's a very interesting watch. And she said that we created the monster, because all along we were rallying for j.k. Rowling, we were listening to her, we were empowering her, and now she said something that we don't like, and yeah, we have to live with the consequences. And it hurts, and it was probably one of the best takes on the whole j.k. Rowling situation. To me personally, I was never a huge Harry Potter fan. I've watched some of the movies, I've read some of the books, there's no overlap there. And to be very honest, I was always critical of j.k. Rowling, not because I knew better, but because I thought, well, when Harry Potter was on its peak of popularity, I was reading Song of Ice and Fire by J.R.R. Martin or Alec of Malibone. I was too old for this, and the way that j.k. Rowling was in her statements, in her interviews, she was saying dumb things. She said that Harry Potter is not a fantasy novel because there's no monarchy or medieval times. And Terry Pratchett commented on that. I thought all those centaurs would have given her a clue, but this actually paints j.k. Rowling as a person who has a lot of hot takes, and sometimes they can be dumb. I mean, she said that Hermione can be black. I'm pretty sure that's not standing scrutiny. Or she said that Dumbledore was gay, which actually there are hints of it in the text of the book. I'll die on that hill. But yes, she was having all those dumb takes, but at the same time her fans were fans, because she wrote Harry Potter was a great book and they loved it, and they were able to read to her blogs, to follow her. She was a bit of a celebrity because she was a woman who managed to write a best-selling series and make billions while she was a single unemployed mother before that. So she was a very clear girl boss, as well as an example to follow. It was an interesting human story that she wrote. JK so didn't know she was a woman because people thought that boys would not read a book written by a woman. And you know what, she deserves her success. The Harry Potter books, they were phenomenal. They were great for children's books or young adult books, I guess. And they were very fun. So yes, she deserves success as a writer. But she also was very vocal about human rights, about social justice, about supporting the LGBTQIA plus community, diversity, and she was against racism and sexism and all this stuff. So she was a good person. and then she comes out with some likes on issues that were not that popular to her fan base, and there was some backlash, and it all came to a head with J.K. Rowling writing a whole essay about, no, I'm not transphobic, I have some trans friends, but if you can actually take the time and read a book like that without being upset, it's a great read into the mind of somebody who's bigoted. But this begs the question, is the outrage because of the art and the artist, or is this outrage because we cannot separate ourselves from the art and the artist? Because let's be real, the Harry Potter fandom, it was a lot of a standom. There is the which Hogwarts house are you in? I'm a Ravenclaw. Or what kind of a wand would you have? All those tests, all those people, the Harry Potter references, it was a universal phenomenon. A lot of younger millennials, maybe older millennials too, like me, read the books and they loved them. There was a bit of a shared pop culture phenomenon around it. And since the author was very vocal about human rights and about equality, she was a great example, and she had the right opinions, as I said before. So if you're a fan of her, you also have the right opinions, which begs the question: when the author, when J.K. Rowling has the wrong opinion, are you a bad person too? Because you're a fan of her, because you're following her. And there's a phrase that says, "Never meet your heroes." And I think that here, this phrase fits perfectly, because J.K. Rowling was a hero for many people, and a lot of other cancelled artists were heroes for many people. There were people to look up to, there were people that you would be able to interact with through social media, so there was a parasocial relationship. You knew about them, you knew their life, their kids, that you had photos of them, you had, them chatting to you about their day, about their option, about their opinions, how did they like the latest book, the latest series, whatever. So you felt like they were your friends. And if your friends are bad people, what does this say about you? What does it say if you're a fan of Harry Potter? If Harry Potter is a friend to the L, to the G, to the B, to the I, to the A, but not to the team? Are you a friend to the team? And if you are, and J.K. Rowling is not, are you still friends? Or are you betrayed by her? Think that you cannot look up to her, she's not your idol. The signs were always there. She was always having a very dumb hot takes, and people just applauded them because it never clashed with what they believed, or what they believed strongly. So there was some leeway to say, alright, it's no problem. I mean, yes, Hermione is white, but yes, I guess she could be black. Or Native American, or Asian, or whatever. But you see that being part of the Harry Potter or any other fandom made you believe that you were a good person. I mean, take the Buffy or the Joss Whedon fandom. Joss Whedon was a talented writer. He made all those great shows, he was a feminist, a good guy, and then it comes out he was cheating on his wife, and he blamed her for it. So not a great guy after all. What does that mean for his following that were very inspired by him to respect women and love women and fight for the rights of women? Not a great look. It's this thing. I think that a lot of this cancel or consequence outrage over heroes doing bad things comes from hero worshipping creators, for being fans of franchises, of creators, of standing them, of believing that everything they say is good and looking up to them. And also it has to do with the very neoliberal concept that you ethically consume, meaning that a product you consume actually transfers to you its qualities. I mean, if you are having Ben and Jerry's ice cream, you're supporting equality and equal rights and progressivism, I guess, because that's the values of the company. Or if you know, that's the reason why a lot of brands try to have some sort of a value to them. I mean, what's the chain? It's Burger King that has all those funny tweets. Yeah, they try to look funny and create a personal relation to you, meaning that if you eat at Burger King or whatever it is, Wendy's, no, Wendy's, it's Wendy's. If you eat at Wendy's, you're a cool person. You enjoy good takes on Twitter that rubs on you by having a burger. So the idea comes that, is it all about the art and the artist, or is it about the consumer of the art and the artist and the art? How much of ourselves are tied to the art and the artist, and how does the actions of the artist makes us look? I mean, okay, I'm cool with the artist being bad. I'm listening to a lot of black metal albums, and believe me, nowadays I have the certainty that when I encounter a black metal band, they're Nazis, until it's proven otherwise. But I'm definitely not supporting Nazism, alright? Let's make this clear. Definitely not. I don't like the politics of most of those bands, but I like their music. I listen to their music. Yes, I'm supporting them. Yes, I may be giving money to people I don't like, people who may not like me, because, I'm South European. I'm not Aryan enough for a lot of these people. Believe it or not. They hate me. I'm okay with that. It's like, yeah, it's the art. I don't care about the artist, and definitely who the artist is not affecting me. My sense of self has nothing to do with the books I read, because I read some Hudson books. Alright, definitely it doesn't make me look cool or clever. So I don't tie my identity to the books I read, to the music I listen to the movies I watch. Their parts I enjoy, but for other people that's not the case, and I think that a lot of the drama comes from those very fuzzy borders. I mean, liking Harry Potter is not an identity trait, it's not a personality trait, it's just liking something. It's a hobby, it's a pastime. It's not good to be that involved, and believe me, when you're hero worshipping, when you put artists on a pedestal and you worship them like gods, they're going to disappoint you very soon, because they are humans and they'll blunder. Don't worship artists, and never ever ever meet your heroes. You'll definitely be disappointed. So I'd love to hear your opinions on this topic. If you think that I'm wrong or not, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.